Okay. So, are you people aware of that Bhitarkarnika Wildlife Sanctuary? Bhitarkarnika,
Yes.
Uttam and Soumya.
Yes.
So, what it is famous for? What it is famous for? Bhitarkarnika Wildlife Sanctuary.
Crocodile.
Crocodiles.
To be specific, it is saltwater crocodile.
Yes, sir.
Okay, saltwater crocodile in Bhitarkarnika Sanctuary. And what rivers are draining it? Because there was a question in UPSC, what rivers drain that Bhitarkarnika Sanctuary?
I don't know.
Yes, they are Brahmani and Baitani. Okay, I think, okay, enough of this question and answer came. Now we should start. So we yesterday completed the food chain part, right? So was food chain clear to all? Food chain was a linear
Yes, sir.
network. Okay. Food chain was a linear network depicting how one organism is eaten by the another one. Okay. How one organism is eaten by the another. Or it depicts how there is transfer of matter and energy from one trophic level to the next another trophic level, right? And it begins with producer, but that is for that grassland grazing food chain. Okay, it usually begins with producers and ends with top consumers, right? So you can see that here we have terrestrial food chain and this aquatic food chain. So I told you about phytoplanktons as well. Okay, we are going to do a question on phytoplanktons, but first this food web. So what happened? The food chain is a linear phenomenon. Okay, it's a linear representation. But in actual nature, we do not have this linear relationship. In actual nature, we do not have this linear relationship. This is a kind of complex relationship we see in actual nature. Okay. In reality, we see this kind of complex nature of relationship between various trophic levels. Suppose this cactus is eaten by this rat as well as the squirrel, and the squirrel is eaten by this snake, or by this red hawk, or this by this lizard. So here various number of animals can be present at each trophic level. Okay, more than one species can be present at one particular trophic level. Okay, we have more than one species of producer at base, then we have more than one species of primary consumers, then at the next trophic level we have more than say one secondary consumers, right? So it is a kind of this complex arrangement, and it represents the actuality, it represents the reality in nature, the real scenario, right? So you can write that the food web is a network of several interrelated food chains. A food web is a network of several interrelated food chains, so showing nutrition transfer in actual conditions. Showing nutrition transfer in actual conditions. Okay, there are several interconnected food chains. Yes, yes, Arya.
No, I was asking to repeat what you.
Okay, so food chain is a network of several interconnected food chains showing nutrition transfer. Interconnected food chains showing nutrition transfers in actual conditions in nature. Showing nutrition transfer in actual conditions in nature. Okay. As most of the organisms consume more than one type of plant or animal. Okay, it is okay? As we can see that
Yes,
these
sir.
ants, okay, these ants are eaten by this grasshopper, then this grasshopper is eaten by this owl. So this grasshopper can also be eaten by a bird. These ants can also be eaten by this lizard. This lizard is then eaten by the snake. So this is a kind of complex relationship. It is a kind of complex relationship. And how it helps in survival of organisms? It provides alternate routes of nutrition transfer. This food web provides alternate route of nutrition transfer. For suppose if there is a problem with this species and somehow it becomes extinct. Okay, if somehow this mouse, this grasshopper mouse becomes extinct, it is not available. So if there was a linear arrangement, so this would have disrupted the entire chain, right? This would have disrupted the entire chain. But when we have alternate routes, then this higher trophic level animals can eat something else rather than relying on this specific food. Here again, I will cover that example of red panda. Okay, example of red panda. What happens if red panda is eating bamboo? And if bamboo is lost, or if there is very little bamboo plants left for red panda to eat, so decline in population of bamboo would lead to decline in population of red panda because they don't have food to eat. So those animals having a specific food or specific aims for having specific intakes, they are very vulnerable. They are very vulnerable to changes. Okay, let us suppose there is a climate change in northeast, and somehow the bamboo trees gets lost from there, and red panda is having habitation in northeast only. So if bamboo trees are not there, red panda will also be not there. Okay. So this complex of interlinked food chain provides alternative routes of nutrition transfer, which improves the chances of survival of organisms involved. So write this line. This interlinked food chain, this complex web of interlinked food chains, provides alternative routes of nutrition transfer. Okay, done. This complex web of interlinked food chains provides alternative routes of nutrition transfer. This complex web of interlinked food chains provides alternative routes of nutrition transfer. Done? Everyone?
Sir.
Speak yourself. Now I'm done?
Yes, sir.
Dishank done? Okay. What about Preetham? Preetham done? Sharda done? Sharda? So I'm explaining each and every concept from the scratch, okay? So after that food chain and food web, now we are very much aware that how nutrition or how energy in the form of nutrition transfers in the ecosystem. Okay? How energy in the form of food or nutrition transfers in the ecosystem. Then this was the first question which I asked yesterday, and the answer was this. A food chain illustrates the order in which a chain of organisms feed upon each other, right? And food chains are found within population? No, they can be in different populations. And food chain illustrate number? No, they do not illustrate number. Okay, so the answer was this one. Yes, Animesh, you are right. Yes, Animesh, you are right. If the Animesh is saying that plants have very specific nutrients, so if a plant goes extinct, it may cause problem for some organisms. Yes, yes. The example of red panda was in this context only. What the example of red panda was in this context only. Plants gain their nutrients from the soil. Okay. If they are readily available in soil, they can be easily absorbed by plants and then can be easily transferred to animals. Okay, they can be easily transferred to animals. But if they are not available to plants only, the plants will die out and would disrupt the entire ecosystem. There will be no food chain, no food web. Because for energy transfer, this food chain or food web completely is needed. And that is why we say that there is a balance in ecosystem. We need each and every species. Okay, we need each and every species. And this is the question. This was the question that there is this sixth extinction. Sixth extinction. So this is sometimes in news, and we call it the anthropogenic extinction, or the extinction caused by anthropogenic activities. So extinction is about dying out or disappearing. Extinction is dying out or disappearing. Palak, what is this fungi? Okay, fungi and bacteria. The answer for this question. Okay, Palak. So sixth stage extinction is the extinction due to anthropogenic activities. Don't worry about the question. I will come to it. First, focus on what I am trying to tell. You can write on the sideline that there is anthropogenic extinction, or the extinction led by anthropogenic activities. And this is called as sixth stage extinction. This is called as sixth stage extinction. And in this, we have lost the very high number of species. The biodiversity loss is very great in this sixth stage of extinction. Okay. And if the rate of this biodiversity loss continues, soon the balance of ecosystem would be disrupted in its entirety. And the reasons are increasing temperature, increasing pollution, okay, rise in CO2 concentration, you do not need to know the other states of extinction, Animesh, because initially the 5 stages were due to natural causes, and they were in different ages, which you do not need to know here. Okay, like in Ice Age or in other ages. Like one was disappearance of dinosaurs.
Sir, can you repeat the causes?
Causes are simple. They are rise in temperature, rise in this pollution, this rise in CO2 levels. Okay. Rise in waste disposal, which has increased the concentration of particulate matter, both in air and water, suspended particulate matter in water and air. SPM. Waste, rise in waste disposal. Okay, now we should come to the question. Okay, so what is the question? With reference to food chains and ecosystem, which of the following kinds of organism is or are known as decomposer organism? So some of you has given the answer B, 2 and 3 only. Okay, it seems highlighted also here. Okay, so B is the correct answer. Yes, virus are not the decomposers. They are not the decomposers. In fact, viruses are non-living outside the body of host. These viruses are kind of non-living outside the body of host. They are inactive. They only become active and multiply themselves inside the body of host. While fungi and bacteria, they are independently living organisms. Independently means they can live at their own, and though they feed on others, but they are decomposers. They feed on those dead and decayed matter. They feed on dead and decayed matter. Right? So 2 and 3 is the answer. Now we should move towards the next one. This is the question from 2012. So let me read it for you. What would happen if phytoplanktons, I told you that phytoplanktons are the microorganisms usually found on the surface of a water body. Okay. And they are producers. Okay. So what would happen if the phytoplankton of an ocean is completely destroyed? No phytoplankton is there. Okay. For some reason. So you have to say, yes, what are the, okay. So the first point here, the first statement says that ocean as a carbon sink would be adversely affected. Ocean as a carbon sink would be adversely affected. Okay. Then food chains in the ocean would be adversely affected. The density of ocean water would drastically decrease. So please write, okay, let us suppose this is question 1. So write 1A or 1B because after Animesh, I think I'm not able to differentiate for which question you are answering. Okay, Manju Paul, 1A, Dishank, okay, Pooja, Aman, 1A, Sharmila Raja, B. Okay, who can explain me these points? Anyone can explain me these statements 1, 2, and 3? Why? Which one is correct? Why? Can anyone explain me? You can speak yourself or you can write in message. Anyone? Yes, Animesh. Do you want to?
I only understand I only understand the second statement to be true. Like I don't understand the other two statements properly. So I'll try to explain the second why second.
Okay, explain the second one. Okay, explain the second one.
You told us that phytoplanktons are the planktons that create food.
Yes, they create food.
And because they are the producers, so without producers, no food. Most of the food chains will be disrupted because most of the food chains start with the producers.
Okay, okay, obviously. Then anyone can, thank you, Animesh. Then anyone can explain this statement 1. Joseph.
From my perceptions are,
Okay.
I think one should be also included because if the producers is extinct, then most of the living organisms under water would also be extinguished. So it would lower the carbon in that area. So I think that why it should be included.
Okay, you are somewhat you are correct. Okay, or you are partially correct. Okay. Anyone else would try this statement 1 or 3?
Yes. So
Yes,
I would like to add on one. Maybe like the phytoplanktons participate actively in photosynthesis, so kind of they are consuming the carbon dioxide content. So
absolutely correct, Swami. Absolutely.
that will be adversely.
Substantial amount of. Yes, Swami, you are correct. Thank you. Dishank, sir, these creatures provide a substantial amount of carbon to water. Yes, Dishank, you are right. So, and the third statement, anyone, why is it wrong or correct or yes, Dishank?
So these phytoplanktons make a substantial amount of layer on the top of the ocean.
Okay, so
So if
what
they
you are,
are
yes,
if they're completely destroyed, the ocean would go down a level, as most of these float above.
No, that would not happen. No, Dishank, that's not correct.
Okay, sir.
Okay, don't worry. Okay, so the point first that carbon sink. So I told you that in INDC, do you people remember that in INDC, I told you, don't worry, those who do not know this INDC, don't worry. I'm not taking anything deep here. In INDC, I told that Indian government has decided to create a 2.5 to 3 billion, right? 2.5 to 3 billion tons of carbon sink by creating more trees. So trees, what are trees? Trees are producers. So those who are producers, they consume the CO2 in the process of photosynthesis. Okay. And this creation under this photosynthesis process lead to formation of organic molecules. Okay. Organic compounds. Organic compounds. And these organic compounds then hold the carbon element. They hold the carbon element. So if If these producers are similar compounds producers, these phytoplanktons are producers as well, and if they die, this process would stop photosynthesis, and the organic compounds held by them would be released into atmosphere. Okay, so this would lead to increase in CO2, and thus the carbon sink would be adversely affected. Okay, carbon sink would be adversely affected if the phytoplanktons die. So this is first point. Okay, the second point is correct. Yes, if they die, there would be disruption in food chain. I had very well explained here. This one, okay, food chain. We have phytoplankton at the base of basic trophic level. Okay, phytoplanktons form the first trophic level in the food chain in aquatic ecosystem. Okay, in aquatic ecosystem, they form the first trophic level, right? So yes, if they die, the food chain would be adversely impacted. Then density. So the answer is no. The question says, the statement says that this density of oceanic water would be drastically impacted or would drastically decrease. No, the answer is no. Because death of these phytoplanktons would not lead to change in density of water. Those slight changes can be there. Due to increase in dead and decay material. Okay, due to increase in that dead and decay material, but they are microorganisms, and they cannot affect the density in a drastic manner. Okay, they cannot affect the oceanic density in drastic manner. So okay, everyone, clear to all?
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, Tommy.
so what exactly does density mean here? Like,
Density
if
is simple.
if it adversely affects the food chain, then probably like the other higher order, higher trophic level organisms will also die. So if we consider presence of organisms as density, then it would decrease, and that would be
Yes,
drastic.
but they can be very later on consequences, and even if there is death of more organisms in sea, there won't be drastic change in density of ocean. Ocean is a very large body of water, and if even there is a death of organisms, dead and decay material would be decomposed. Okay, and that won't affect the density of water that much. Okay, though there can be. Yes, Animesh.
Sir, like the density could be in the organic density, right? The number.
No, it is not organic density. It is not organic density. It is here oceanic water, density of ocean water.
Okay, so like if it would have been organic, it would have been specified properly. Right?
If it would have been specified, then yes, if it would have even asked that there would be changes, you can say yes, there would be changes. But it says that there will be drastic decrease, which is not correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Clear to all? I've told this thing that if UPSC these kind of statements in a question, if they goes extreme, then please come with a doubt that it can be wrong. There is very much probability that those statements with extremes, okay, like always or not, only or drastically, so there is high probability that they are wrong. Okay, but there is only
Yes,
probability.
sir.
But there is probability on both sides. Okay, so I think we should move ahead now. So this is our next concept: biomagnification and bioaccumulation. So okay, you can make this heading, and we are going to write the definitions here. So biomagnification. Suppose this is a food chain. Okay, we can see this one here. So these are various trophic levels. You can assume this 1, this 2, this 3. So what happens if when this higher order organism eats the lower order one, the toxins or the poisonous substances, or the substances which do not easily get dissolved or not easily broken, they got transferred to the body of this higher order organism. And if it is again eaten by this higher order organism, they will again transfer to this higher order organism. So let us suppose it had 20 grams of these toxins this small fish is having. And since this big fish is eating many such small fishes, so it is having 200. It is not in the same multiplication or in proportion, okay? These are such examples only. And this would have 1000 grams. So this increase in the bioorganic matter, especially the toxins, the increase in concentration of pollutants in an organism across the trophic level is called biomagnification. Okay, even we might have heard that humans who are non-vegetarian or non-veg, if they eat chicken or any animal, what happens that the toxins from the body of those lower order organism, they get accumulated in the body of humans. Okay, so I cannot suggest that please do not eat meat. But yes, if you are a meat eater, if you are a non-vegetarian, yes, toxins are accumulated in your body, and this is true. Okay. And you might know that our scriptures, our ancient texts, they have preferred of being vegetarian. Okay, they say that being vegetarian is a good thing. And yes, most of Indian population is vegetarian.
Sir, so they don't follow the concept of 10% law.
It is not energy transfer. It is transfer of pollutants. Right, Sakshi?
So sorry, it will increase.
Yes, it will increase. It may increase or may not. It will definitely increase. But with what proportion, it is not clear. Okay, the proportion cannot be set, but yes, it will increase. There is no such 10% law that it will multiply by 10 or divide by 10. Okay, but yes, with increasing trophic level, the pollutant concentration will increase. Definitely, it will increase, and this increase is called biomagnification. And this biomagnification, you can write the definition here, that biomagnification is the increase in pollutant, the concentration of pollutants as we move up across the trophic level in a food chain. Okay, biomagnification is the increase in concentration of pollutants. Biomagnification is the increase in concentration of pollutants as in an organism as we move up in an organism, as we move up across the trophic levels, in a food chain. Okay, biomagnification is the increase in concentration of pollutants in an organism as we move up across the trophic levels in a food chain. Okay, there is another term called bioaccumulation. Okay, bioaccumulation. So this bioaccumulation means that it is about concentration of these pollutants or toxic substances at one trophic level only. Okay, it is because suppose we have eaten something, and with that food product, there's a kind of pollutant or toxic substance enters our body, and it remains there. Okay, it remains there. So it is only at one trophic level. This accumulation word is for one particular trophic level only. Am I clear?
Sir, so all organisms have a certain amount of toxic already.
Yes, yes. You also have certain amount of toxins in your body. Even I have, even everyone have. Okay, every animal and especially after the human revolutions like this agricultural revolution, use of fertilizers, pesticides. Okay, I'm coming to that.
Okay,
So
sir.
write this definition of bioaccumulation. Okay, bioaccumulation. So bioaccumulation occurs at a particular trophic level. Bioaccumulation occurs at a particular trophic level where toxic substances gets absorbed from food in environment. Where toxic substances get absorbed from food and environment. Bioaccumulation occurs at a particular trophic level where toxic substances or pollutants gets absorbed from food in environment. Okay. Okay. Clear to all? Clear to all?
Yes, sir.
Written, have you people done? Okay, now Rim. Harsh. Okay. Have you written it? लिख लिया सबने? Okay. So now here the concept of POPs. Okay. So for this accumulation to take place, or for this magnification to take place, the substances or these pollutants should be those who can live longer inside an organism without breaking down. Those pollutants who can live long, or they can stay longer in a body. They can stay longer in a body without breaking down. Okay, without breaking down. Okay, without breaking down. So these substances can live for very long duration in a body. For example, DDT. Example of DDT can be taken. DDT is dichloro diphenyl trichloroethane. This full form is not very much important. You only need to know that DDT was a chemical substance which was used as an insecticide. And due to this use of DDT, what happened? This DDT was this kind of POPs, or the long living compounds in an organism. So when it was used by farmers, okay. So what happened? This DDT polluted the food crop. And when this food crop was eaten by men, they had accumulation of this DDT in their bodies. Okay, this deposition of DDTs in their body, since DDT is not breaking down in their bodies. Okay, but there was other consequence also. When these food products were eaten by animals like cow, and when these cows died, okay, when they died, and they were decomposed by those vultures. You might have heard about vultures. Okay, in Hindi we call them gidd. Okay, so these vultures were feeding on these dead bodies of cows and other animals. So due to this DDT, due to presence of this DDT, it led to death of vultures. Okay, so there is data by certain organizations, these bird loving these NGOs, okay, environmental NGOs. There is data, I think it is from BNHS, Bombay Natural Historical Society. So these kind of organizations are giving data, and we also have witnessed it, that vultures are on the verge of extinction. Okay, we have lost this species on a large extent. Okay, there has been large scale decline in their population, and this is all because of this DDT. And this DDT is even found in the stomach of humans. Okay, because it is very difficult, or it takes very long to break down. But for vultures, it is like poison. Yes, Nissan. Yes, Nissan.
Sir, like we eat food after processing and cooking it. So how
Yes,
do toxins still enter our body?
yes. So there are persistent compounds there. Okay, Dishang. What food we eat, there are persistent pesticides, whatever chemicals we are using in farming, okay, in agriculture practices. These kind of persistent pollutant compounds, they enter our food chain. They do not get broken even if we wash, because they are very much part of they are very much inside the product. Okay, they are very much inside the raw agricultural products. Okay, and they do not get separated on heating, they do not get separated on washing, and they enter the human body with that raw food you eat, whatever. Okay, even after cooking. So they do not get separated on heating or cleaning or anything else. They get inherent inside the agricultural products. And you might have heard that the European nations, European countries, or other Western countries, sometimes they reject Indian agricultural products or food products. Okay, with this phytosanitary measures, based on this phytosanitary measures. Phytosanitary measures. Okay, for example, European Union a few years back, they rejected a consignment of mango. India exported a consignment of mango, but European Union rejected that consignment on this phytosanitary reasons. Because of these, they said that your mango have high amount of pesticides in it. Okay, the pesticides you are using, they are persistent. Okay, they are not this. They are still present, and they are in high amount. What are the consequences of toxic? Yes, Disha, actually these, okay, POP, I will come to it, and Nimesh, wait for a minute. Then Disha, consequences of toxic accumulations. Normally you can see that DDTs, yes, they are harmful, but over the longer period of time, because they do not easily break. So there is very less this damage or harm to an organism. But over the longer run, yes, they harm. And for the vultures, it was short term for vultures. Okay, it created a very huge impact on the vulture population. And now we are having a kind of project vulture. And I think anyone from Maharashtra, there is Gadchiroli in Maharashtra, which is a Naxal affected site. Okay, and is also a wildlife sanctuary. So in this Gadchiroli Wildlife Sanctuary, some NGOs have opened a restaurant. Okay, a restaurant for vultures. It is a kind of restaurant where chemical-free meat is given to these vultures. Okay, chemical-free meat is given to these vultures, so that they can be saved. They conservation efforts can be take place. Okay, conservation efforts can take place. So these are the efforts to save the population of vultures. Okay. So are we clear with this? Now I'm coming to POPs. Are we clear with this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So these phytosanitary measures, these sanitary and phytosanitary measures, you would come to know in economics. Yes, in agriculture, but majorly in agricultural economics. Because they are one of the barriers, trade barriers. You would learn about trade barriers. Okay, similar was the case for tea also. Recently, some country, I think Russia banned tea imports from India, citing these phytosanitary measures that Indian tea has lot of pesticides in it. Okay, I'm not clear whether it was Russia, but I think it was Russia. Okay, so they also cited these phytosanitary measures, saying that Indian tea has lot of pesticides in it. Okay, so now I'm coming to these POPs. So POPs are nothing but persistent organic pollutants. Persistent organic pollutants. Persistent organic pollutants. Okay. And these are compounds which do not get destroyed over a period of time. That is, their breakdown or their decomposition or degradation is very slow. Okay. Their degradation is very slow. So they persist for a longer duration in a human body or in an organism. Okay. they persist for longer duration in a body of an organism. And yes, they are very harmful. Okay, as they decompose, they can release chemicals in body which can result into various diseases. Okay, various problems for the organism. Okay, they can disrupt the normal functioning of a body. So to reduce the release of these POPs, many factories like this fertilizer industry and the other chemical industries which produce these POPs. I've given you the example of DDT. Okay, they produce these POPs and they get released into water bodies or other. Okay, they get released into water bodies or in surroundings due to human activities, anthropogenic activities. Okay. So UNEP is a body for environment, the global body deciding for environment. Okay, UNEP in 2001 they asked for a treaty or an agreement so that the release of these POPs can be contained. The release of these POPs can be contained. So in 2004, finally, in 2004. Stockholm Summit it is called Stockholm Agreement on POPs. The Stockholm Agreement on POPs. It is called as Stockholm Agreement. It's L. Stockholm Agreement on POPs. I should clear it first. Okay. This Stockholm Agreement signed in 2004 to regulate the release of POPs in environment. Okay, and this convention, the Stockholm Convention, is under UNEP. This convention has a secretariat under UNEP. Okay, and it was in 2004 that the Stockholm Agreement was signed or finalized. Okay, so am I clear till here? Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Where are the ones? Uttam. Sharmila, am I clear?
Clear, sir.
Sharmila,
Yes, sir.
is it easy to understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Uttam. Then Soumya, is it okay, Soumya? Soumya,
Yes, sir.
Chumpi, all good? Chumpi, all clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So I think I should move ahead now. Biomagnification and bioaccumulation done. Okay. So now we are going to start with pyramids. Okay. So the flow of energy we have seen, but now we are going to see pyramids. It is a graphical representation of trophic levels with numbers. Okay. In food chain, we didn't have the numbers. But here, the relationship is not important. The more important is numbers. The amount. The amount is important here. Okay. So ecological pyramids, you can write the definition for ecological pyramids. Manju, is there any problem? Manju, is there any issue? Okay. Please mute your mic if you are okay. So these ecological pyramids are the graphical representation of trophic levels in an ecosystem. Ecological pyramids are the graphical representation of trophic levels in an ecosystem. Ecological pyramids are the graphical representation of trophic levels in an ecosystem. Okay. So what happens? Actually, we arrange any organisms in a kind of this pyramid for this pyramid, it is a kind of chart. Okay, you can say it is a kind of chart. So this length of each trophic level, this trophic level, length of each trophic level represent the number or the amount. Okay, the number or the amount. Okay, so you can see as we are moving up, the numbers is decreasing or the amount is decreasing. So this lead to formation of this pyramid shape. Okay, and it is a kind of sequential arrangement, starting with primary producers, then herbivore, then carnivore, and then so on. Okay. Okay, then they are of three types. Basically, these pyramids are of three types: pyramids of number, pyramids of biomass, and energy pyramid. Okay, pyramids of number, pyramids of biomass, and energy pyramid. If you want to write, you can write. They are of three types: pyramids of number, pyramids of biomass, and energy pyramid. Okay, shall I move ahead now? Okay, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Only one or two yes.
Yes, sir.
Pooja.
Yes, sir.
I was only asking that all clear. Are you getting?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay. So that the first one is pyramid of numbers, right? So as I've told you that the each trophic level in this pyramid represents, when it is of number, they represent the number of organism at that trophic level. Number of organism at that trophic level. Okay. So this pyramid shows the abundance of organisms in terms of their number at different trophic level without considering their size. Okay. So what it represents? It represents the number of organisms at each trophic level without considering their size. Okay. Without considering their size. That means a carnivore can, yes, Uttam?
No, sir.
Okay. So a carnivore can be a cat, a lion, a tiger, okay, or can be a lizard. So we are not here worried about the size of organism, just about the numbers, okay. So this the length, see here, length of bar represent the number of organism at each trophic level. And these pyramid of numbers can be of two types. They can be upright, this upright, or inverted. Okay, they can be this upright or they can be inverted. Upright is this straight one, and inverted is this. Okay. So what is this upright and inverted? For grassland, if we are talking about grassland, so we have more number of producers. Okay, if we count number of grasses, they are more. Number of plants, if we are counting, they are definitely more than the animals in above trophic levels. Okay, so this trophic level is having the largest length. Okay, then as we move ahead, we see the primary consumers here. These primary consumers have numbers less than these plants, but more than those eating them. Okay, so the number of primary consumers is more than those of secondary consumers. Okay, so this is a kind of general representation. There can be variations, but usually this is a kind of representation. Okay. Then we have lesser number of snakes than frogs. And finally, we have lesser number of hawk or eagles than snakes. So the number is decreasing as we move up. And thus the length of a trophic level is also decreasing. The number is decreasing as we move up, and thus the length of each trophic level is also decreasing as we move up, right?
Yes, sir.
So when we see this kind of arrangement, it is upright pyramid. Okay. When there is decrease when we move up, when the pyramid or the length of each bar is decreasing when we move up, it is called upright pyramid. And it is in grasslands. It can be in aquatic system as well. We have more number of phytoplankton there. Then on secondary level, we have lesser number of small fish. Then further lesser number of bigger fish. And then further lesser number of much bigger fishes like those whales. Okay, the number of whales is definitely much less than those the secondary or tertiary consumers. Primary or secondary consumers. So a similar kind of pyramid can be seen in aquatic ecosystem as well. Upright pyramid. Then inverted pyramid. So if we consider a plant or a tree as an ecosystem, if we consider a single tree as an ecosystem, so the number of producers is 1. Okay, the number of producers there is 1 at the basic trophic level. So the length would be smallest. Then those birds living on this tree and eating its leaves, okay, they are primary consumers. Okay, they are primary consumers and they are more in number than this tree. Then there are tertiary consumers called parasites feeding on these birds. Parasites feeding on these birds. Okay, like beetles, mosquitoes. They are feeding on these birds and they are more in number than these birds. Okay. And then finally, we can have these decomposers or parasites. Means these parasites feed on these parasites. Okay. And they are still in more number. They are still more in number than the parasites. Okay. So this lead to increase in length of each trophic level as we move up. Increase in length of each trophic level as we move up, and thus results in inverted shape of a pyramid of number. Inverted shape of a pyramid of number. Clear? Clear all?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think pyramid of number is done then. You can ask anything if you want.
Like, is it always necessary that like when we move up the trophic level, it is always increasing or decreasing? Like, because both of the cases that
Animesh, yes, I've told you 2 cases because it depends on what type of ecosystem we are considering.
okay, so it's just an example. There can be like
Yes.
case where it's not an actually pyramidal shape. It could be like somewhere it
Yes,
decreases.
that also I told you that generally it is a general case. Okay. Yes, there can be increase in numbers. Yes, there can be a case when number of snakes is larger than frogs in an ecosystem. This is possible, quite possible. But
So-
in general, yes, Animesh.
So we'll consider them as pyramids, or do we just take?
I told you we are talking about general cases, and in general cases, yes, we found lesser number of snakes than frogs. That is, the carnivores, the abundance of carnivores goes on decreasing with rising trophic level, and this is general case in ecosystem. This is general case in ecosystem.
Okay, sir.
While the uprightness and invertedness of a pyramid depends upon the type of ecosystem we are considering. If we are considering a grassland or an aquatic ecosystem, then it is an upright pyramid. But if we are considering a tree as an ecosystem, I told everyone that an ecosystem can be as small as a body of a small organism, and it can be as large as entire Earth. Okay. Okay, Animesh. So if we are considering a tree as an ecosystem, it is an inverted pyramid. But if we are considering a grassland as an ecosystem, it is upright.
Okay.
Now, everyone. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then I'm moving towards this biomass pyramid. Okay, So in pyramid of numbers, we were considering the number of organisms present at each level. While in this biomass, what we will be considering is, we will be considering the amount of biological matter, the amount of organic biological matter present at each level. Okay, and the measurement unit we use is gram per unit area or the kilocalorie per unit area. Okay, gram per unit area or kilocalorie per unit area. So what this it is, this biomass of pyramid, you can write this, that it represents the total standing crop biomass at each level. It represents the total standing crop biomass at each level, which is the amount of living matter at a given time, which is the amount of living matter at any given time, which is the amount of living matter at any given time. The measurement units are kg or gram per unit area or kilocalorie per unit area. Okay, so it is about measuring the organic matter mass in a unit area. We measure that what amount of organic mass for a particular trophic level organisms. Like if we are considering for the base level, then in this pyramid, then what we will see that in suppose it is 1 meter square area, what is the mass of plants? What is the mass of number of plants present? Okay, so we are just considering the mass, biomass present. Then at the second level, we will consider the mass of herbivores. Okay, then the third level, we would consider the mass of carnivores, biomass. This pyramid can also be upright as well as inverted. Okay. Now let me explain these inverted and upright pyramids. So what we witnessed that in that number pyramid, this aquatic ecosystem pyramid was upright, but here it becomes inverted. Why? Because though number of fishes or the phytoplanktons present at the basic producer level, the phytoplanktons present at the basic producer level is more, but their total biomass is significantly very low. Okay, their total biomass is significantly very low, right? And then the total biomass of fishes bigger than these ones, or the fishes, is much greater than these phytoplanktons. Okay, greater. Okay, you can say here medium, because okay, second trophic level. Then Animesh, wait a minute, Animesh. Then at this third level, we have very large fishes like shark and whales, and it's obviously true that if we measure the biomass of these, fishes, of these whales, it would be definitely larger than the fishes at secondary level. I mean the primary consumers or the producers. So it would definitely be very large than these trophic levels. Okay. So what we see that as we are moving up, the biomass is increasing in this manner. Okay. The length of bar is increasing. So it is inverted pyramid. Then in this pyramid, this is straight pyramid, and yes, biomass of all plants is greater. Okay, biomass of all plants is greater, or you can say maximum in a grassland ecosystem. Then comes the total biomass of herbivores. Suppose it is 1000 kg, then it is 100 kg at the secondary level of primary consumers, and it is around 10 kg. This proportion is not okay. This is not very much proportionate in this manner. Okay. This is just a figure representing decrease. Okay. So as we go up, yes, we know that we have very less number of loins at higher level. So the total biomass of loins would definitely be very less than the plants or the herbivores present. Okay. So what we find that as we move up in a trophic level, the length of each bar is decreasing. The length of each bar depicting the amount of biomass is decreasing. And this shows us that it is an upright pyramid of biomass. So this one is in aquatic ecosystem and this one is in grassland ecosystem. Now, please come with the queries, okay? Question, please.
Sir, what is the utility of this pyramid?
This pyramid represents, okay, this pyramid represents the flow of energy, okay? I told you that we are reading, what we are reading the flow of energy. So this pyramid tells us that what amount of energy is available at each trophic level, okay? The amount of biomass or the numbers of organisms at each level tells us that what can be the amount of energy available at each trophic level, right?
Okay, sir.
Sir,
Yes, Amit.
I am quite confused. Like in the aquatic this biomass pyramid, the producers are at the least biomass. They have the least biomass, right?
Yes.
And when we move through trophic levels, we because of the 10% law, the only 10% of the energy is
Please do not apply the 10% law here.
No, sir, I'm not
Okay,
saying
okay. I got it. I got your point. Okay, Animesh. Okay, ask.
because we have only 10% energy is being transferred. So how is there a like higher biomass on higher levels because they would need more energy
Yes,
and
definitely they would need
energy they would need more number of producers than there are
Yes.
the next trophic level. So how do this like how do they like
Yes, I'm coming to it. Since I am considering here the amount of biomass, there are millions of phytoplanktons present. Okay, millions of phytoplanktons present at the basic level. If you go with their mass, it is very low. Okay, but they produce food, they produce chemical compound on which little fishes survive. Okay, and these fishes, the mass of these fishes is, yes, they are is larger than these phytoplanktons, but they are lesser in number than these phytoplankton, and they eat these phytoplanktons for their survival. The life cycle of these phytoplanktons is very low, very less. Okay, so these fishes survive on these phytoplanktons. They eat large number of phytoplankton. Okay, then there are bigger fishes who eat large number of small fishes. Okay, they eat large number of small fishes and gains energy from them to survive for their larger body. Okay, and similar is the case for the fourth level.
I
Anyways,
understand like they would need like they would eat larger amounts of like previous level trophic level things as the trophic level increases. Like the
yes,
carnivores eat a lot of herbivores to make their like to get their energies for living. But like my question was like if we have very less mass, like we take this biomass through the whole entire sea, right?
okay,
Like
okay.
we the
We are
biomass
considering, yes, we are considering the total standing crop or total biomass. Yes.
Yeah, so we are taking all the like in carnivores, we are taking all the carnivores present in the entire ocean,
The
and then
problem is, anyways, the problem is you are confusing with that they must take the mass equivalent to their energy intake. Okay.
okay,
The
yeah,
problem, okay, you are
yeah.
thinking that
Now I understand
they must take the mass. The energy should be equivalent with the mass. Okay. Uh, take example of humans. When we eat the food in proportion to